Are business loans a good idea? They are if you do this. Hi, welcome in. This is Michael from Viral Funding Solutions, and I'm going to get right into answering that question. The answer is yes, if you are properly using it for building, growing, expanding, and even getting out of a tight pinch. But it's not as simple as that. You're right here saying, well, of course, that's what I'm looking for, a business loan. What else would be the reason? Well, it's not as simple as that. And it is a good idea if you understand how to use it as fuel that you can inject into your business. You understand the outcome that's coming on the other side of that. Yet a lot of people don't really understand how to use the funds. I help out a lot of people on a daily basis from all types of industries, from all walks of life, and I see it every day. They go, yeah, I would like to get a business loan, and then they say, well, I'd like to use it for this. And we get to that point where you're like, oh, I know what I need to use the funds for, but you don't exactly understand the structure of your business 100%. You don't understand that if you inject this into your business, what exact outcome is going to come out of that. And not all the time do you have that in concrete details. But what I have to ask you is, do you understand the use of your funds? One, and then two, do you know if that will keep your business stable? Would it drop your bottom line from taking a business loan? Would it increase your bottom line? So at the end of the day, what I tell everybody is it's not about the interest rates all the time. It's not about the term length or the type of payment. Instead, it's about this, the repayment, meaning, hey, am I paying this amount on a daily, weekly, biweekly, monthly basis? Can I afford to do that? Is my business sound enough? Is it structured enough? Is it where it needs to be right now for me to handle that? That's the ultimate question, and questions you need to answer. So if the benefit is up here and the repayment is below that, then sure, it makes sense to move forward. And it's a good idea to get a business loan so you can invest it and use it into your business, inject it so it can keep your business stable, afloat, and it can also increase your profits, your bottom line. And so there are many types of business loans. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but each of one is very specific in how you can, one, use your funds, how much you can get approved for, what are the qualifications, requirements, and are they daily, weekly, biweekly, monthly payments? What is the term duration? And there's so much more behind that, like documents needed to be provided. Yeah, sure, there are the idle loans where you get a lower interest up to a large amount of years, but maybe you don't get approved for so much. And now you have this 30-year term or even more or less, and you're like, well, I only got approved for this much, so I'm going to be in debt for 25 years, having to make a payment of $200 to $300 per month or so forth. Everybody has a different situation and depends on how much you get approved for. So it might not even be 200 or 100 or however much you look at it. It could be more or less. But the truth is, are you one, wanting to get in that kind of debt? It may not be a lot, but two, do you want to push out that process where on $100,000 loan, you're paying it off in like 25 years or something like that, something major? Sure, it looks good on paper when you think about what you're paying on a monthly, biweekly, weekly, and a daily basis if we reverse engineer from the monthly payment. But you also have to think about, do you want to be in debt for that long? Two, can you make the payments much faster and can you pay more off? That's what you have to ask yourself. And a lot of people, they're hesitant on doing that because perhaps you are not in a financial situation where you don't get enough revenue, monthly sales, your annual gross sales. You don't want to be impacted hard. Maybe you have some cash flow problems in the business. There's a lot of things happening where you're not trying to move these parts out of the way. But the truth is, it could be hurting you a lot more than it is helping you. So in that sense, I wouldn't say a business loan is a good idea if you don't, one, understand what your use of funds is for. Two, you don't quite understand the also how these products work is very important for you to understand. Most people, they go, well, it's not a good idea. It didn't work for my business. I had a bad experience. And then they'll go tell a friend, a family, or they'll go write it online on Trustpilot or give somebody a specific review, etc. But the truth is, they weren't as, it could have been that they weren't as educated. And that's what I try to do for you guys on this channel. So if you've watched me time and time again, Perhaps you've read my blog posts because I do a lot of blogging as well, social media and in all other forums. I talk about how I can educate you guys on understanding what the underwriters, the lenders are looking for. What are the different types of products and services? Should you go to the direct lenders? If so, how can I help you get to them? Go through brokerages, why that's a better solution so you can get multiple offers and we can present you with the best one. That's what I try to do for you guys. And if this is the first time you are watching me, I highly recommend you check out my questionnaire form that I'll leave down below in the description. But many people have submitted this, and it's based on some funding details that you'll submit. It'll land in my email inbox where then I can evaluate it, analyze it, and respond back to you via email based on those funding details that you showed me. And it's confidential between you and I. And what happens is you're going to get a personalized and very customized response on what your best funding option and options are. Even if you don't qualify for something now, there will be things to show you when you're ready, and then some bonus material, bonus tips, and a lot more. So that'll be down below in the description for you to check out. But back on topic, yes, business loans are a good idea again, as I'm going to reiterate right now, if you understand the use of your funds. Okay, that's one part. We get that down. We completely understand, like, hey, I'm going to need it for, for example, I'm a restaurant owner and I'm looking to build a new patio set that's going to bring in an extra 100 people per day. That might sound lucrative to some people, but to others, it's realistic. And they're like, yeah, that's also going to increase my bottom line. I'm going to go up by another 10,000 to 20,000 per month. And I'm going to go up another 2,000 to 5,000 per week just by doing that. Or you could be in a situation, where you keep your business stable, right? And it's not like you have a cash flow problem. If you had a cash flow problem, there are products and services for that I'll leave for you down below. And everything you guys want to know about where to go get started, watch some other review videos, lenders, brokers, brokerages, and how I can help you as a loan broker who has had a lot of time doing this, has seen it all, has helped out in all types of services. I'll leave more information of that down below in the description. But yeah, use of your funds, as the example, restaurant owner, it can be any situation. Are you keeping your business stable? Is it increasing your profits? And it depends on the industry, depends on what your use of funds are. You might need a truck, equipment financing. You're probably looking for some type of a personal loan to use for business, some startup loan, what's out there. That stuff will be down below again for startups and non-startups. But yeah, use of your funds, make sure you know and you understand. Like, I speak to a lot of business owners who want the EIDL loan. As the time of me making this video, that isn't open. The deadline was gone in December 31st, 2021. It is 2022. I know I'm saying a lot of numbers. And as of this time, it's just a reconsideration, increases, appeals, declines, and so forth that are through the process. But outside of that, and in correlation with it, there are other things like the SBA 7A, the 504. And the thing with the EIDL that's really programmed us to think is, hey, we need money for survival. A lot of business owners that I talk to, whether the revenue is low or it's high, I speak to them and I ask, what is the primary use of your funds? And they go, well, I'm going to use it for survival. And sometimes I go, are you using your money for survival purposes? They go, yeah, 75% of it for survival, 25% of it, I'm using it for growth and expansion, just expansion. And so that gives me an idea. And the statistics show that most EIDL loan borrowers are using it for some of that, like debt consolidation, for payroll, mortgage, and just those finances that help you stay afloat. And that's a huge primary use. Secondary uses usually can be for growth and expansion. So don't think that they're bad because you're not possibly using them for the right purposes. Maybe you're just needing them because you need to survive. And you're looking at it like, man, I got into the debt, and now my business isn't doing good. I need a deferment. That's why you're coming from that direction. Or perhaps you've been in a position where you've received an offer, you took it, and then you're like, well, I'm having to pay back this amount in interest. They're expecting me to pay back 13 to 14,000 off of what I got, and they're only giving me 6 to 9 months or 6 months. Well, everybody has a different situation, and there's underwriting guidelines and content to this that I reveal. So I'll leave some of that down below. So make sure you're staying in tune and on top of all of this. So that's where people come from on those two spectrums. I pay too much. I pay little, but I'm using it for these funds, and I'm not using it for this. So it doesn't look too good for me, or it's good because the interest rate is low. So it is a good business loan. So you can't just predict on the topic or on the subject of it being a low interest loan with it being a longer term with monthly payments, and you say that's a good thing. There's more to the criteria than that. Like I said, use of funds. What are you using it for? Are you just starting out? For growth and expansion, which is a huge reason a lot of people will turn to private lenders as well if they can't get the SBA type of loans. So private lenders usually have higher interest, total payback, factor rates, depends on the product slash service you're going for. And that's where a lot of people don't think it's a good idea. Oh, they see these 25 to 40% in interest on these secured term loans. You could probably drop it with assets that you have. Maybe you're looking at a total payback of a merchant cash advance, a hybrid merchant cash advance, and you're like, well, I'm having to pay back 13,000. That turns out to be 50% in interest. I calculated all this, blah, blah. And so a lot of people get on top of that and they go, well, no, you're telling me I have to pay this back. But the thing is, it comes back to it. The benefit does not exceed your repayment. It's not about the interest. It's not about the type of payment, because not everybody, especially with those types of cash advances, not everybody qualifies for a monthly. And that's not always what's given. There are products that do have that. There are other ones that are daily / weekly. Sometimes we can move you from the beginning into a weekly, but a lot of times it can be just daily. It just depends on where you fall. I have a lot of people that I speak to of all spectrums, of all magnitudes, people who come in with a low credit score but high revenue. And they ask, why do I get the shorter terms? I'm wanting at least 9 months. I want a longer term. Well, increase your FICO credit score. And then we could talk about getting you between 7 to 11 months. And if you're at a 700 plus and you have the right revenue, you have the right time in business, 2+ years and so forth, then we can try to look at 12 to 24 months with the shorter term. And you're thinking, well, I want something with 2+ years. So that's why business loans are not a good idea, because you're asking me to get something underneath 24 months. Not exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's not all about the term. It's not all about the interest. You got to think about the repayment. Does it make sense? Will it hurt your cash flow? Because I never tell somebody to take it if it's going to hurt your business. If it's not now and it'll hurt it in a month, it'll hurt it in a week, you're not ready for that. It depends on the service. Maybe a line of credit would be the best option for cash flow. Maybe you'd like a lump sum because you just know you're going to use it for these projects or this project. How you're going to inject it to fuel the growth and expansion of your business. Are you ready to scale? Not all of it is survival money, but if you're not looking in the right places, this is why you come to this conclusion. And it's like a scientific experiment. You have to find somebody that you resonate with, somebody who's been through your trials and tribulations. Listen, I've been there myself, trying to get business funding from my multiple businesses. And I know when I first got started, I was like not even doing the minimum of 5,000, which is what most lenders want to look for. I was doing less than that. And I found it very hard to pick up the revenue. So I found that taking out a business loan was not a good idea until I started picking up my revenue. I started understanding, I started getting educated, and I didn't have somebody like you do now with myself who was showing you how to do all of this. I didn't have a broker or somebody I can turn to. Somebody was just telling me, yeah, go and apply here. There were some ads here and I would do that and I would not get approved, and I'd get approved over here once I did this. You don't want to go through all of that. I'm going to be here to help you. I'm very trustworthy. I've helped out a ton of people, and I'm going to do what's in the best interest of you as a human being first, like to get to know you as a personal human being. And then we can look at the business side of things. That's how I like to approach this. And there's a culture behind this. I've helped out a lot of people and I continue to still do so. I have a group for all this and so forth. And I'll leave my website and information down below so you can get started. But just kind of to round up this video, just want to have you look at more than just the terms, the basic stuff people ask for, which are terms and rates. What is that? And you may already know all of this. Like I know about the repayment and all that. That's why I asked for the terms and the rates, because if I know them, I will be better in a situation. But it's kind of like you're being closed-minded, because even if that option didn't work, you'd say, oh, okay, thank you for showing me. No, there's probably plan B over here that can help you. And going back to the EIDL loan, it's very much programmed a lot of people that if I get this funding, I'm going to use it for survival money. Sure, you can use it all solely for that, and or you can use it for the growth and expansion of your business, for purchasing an existing business. In some of those cases, we have to look at different ways. And again, every person's situation is different, and I've gone through all of them. And we have to look at the diagnosis at the end of the day, not cure the symptoms, which are the terms, the rates, the outcome we want. We have to look deeply into ourselves and ask ourselves, is this going to help myself? But is it also going to, more importantly, help my business? And it's going to put it in a spot where it needs to move forward, not in a strain and not being sprained at the same time. And you're putting it on crutches, and you are then having to work backwards now where the problems persist so you can go over there to cure those. And then now you have another one here, and then another one just ends up popping up there if you're not filling in the gaps correctly, right? That's why it's very important for you to understand the use of your funds, understand the repayments. And if you don't get to what you want, exactly what that is, then you have to ask yourself, what do I do? And that's what I'm here to solve for you. And one pro tip here before I leave is, even if you don't get everything you wanted in one shot, what I tell business owners, and I've done this myself, is to take what you can get if that will benefit you. If it doesn't, then you wouldn't do it, and don't. But if you can take, let's say you wanted 50,000, but you got 20,000, okay, I can use that. Whatever I need it for, marketing, advertising, I need to use that for payroll too, hire some staff, et cetera, et cetera. And then I go, well, I'm going to get the rest of it if I can get approved for. A lot of the times people get approved for better terms, better rates, maybe the type of payment, and so forth, more funding. When you got 20,000, maybe we'll give you 25,000, or the rest, the 30,000, and all you needed to do it was in 2 takes. Sometimes you can just take once, but everybody's in a different situation. And just look at the debt to income ratio, understand the different services. Not because you get a longer term doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. Do you want to pay that debt off in 30 years? If you got like a loan for like 50,000, 100,000, and you're like, I can make this and get it done within 6 months. I can get it out of the way in 9 months. I can get it done in 18 months. That's better for what I qualify for. You may not even need that amount of time, but we're always looking for a safety cushion. So that's where also the problem persists, I think, more so than it helps you. When we're looking for the safety cushion of a longer term more than anything, we're like, what if this happened? And then I'm more prepared for that. And I overthink. I'm an introvert. It's hard for me to be on video, but what I know and what I've experienced myself and what I've seen from everyone, it's the opposing. It's, hey, I didn't even need a longer term. I didn't want to even end up paying. I'm in debt for this, and I have to go do something else, and I can't go apply there because I have this and this. And then you take on less in your business, and it becomes more of a strain. So that is everything from me in this video. I just want to say that it is a good idea if you're using it for those things, building it, growing, expanding it, and getting out of a tight pinch, and you understand the structure and how sound it is in your business. Will it hurt your business? Will it help it? Will it keep it stable, increase profits? Are you using the right products and services first and foremost? Are you going through the right lenders, brokerages? Are you understanding what the outcome of you getting this business loan is going to give you, as well as before you get the loan, do you understand the use of funds? You understand the requirements, qualifications, the application process, and you understand if the interest rates are higher, so be it. Does not matter. Even if I qualify for something with lower interest, it's not always about the lower interest or the longer terms. It's about the repayment, the benefits. Can you pay the debt off sooner rather than later? A cushion helps, but it's not always the best solution. So, and there's so much more that can go into this, but I wanted to cover the primary details. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please make sure to voice them for me in the comment section down below. Look for all my extra content. Get started with my questionnaire if you have not already. Pick up my free resources, my email. If you want to check out the site just to see the legitimacy of it, go ahead and do so. And if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. And click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I come out with. And if you got value out of this, please give it a like. And if you know somebody else who will get value out of this, and if they're in a similar position, then feel free to share that. I would be greatly appreciative and grateful and humbled by you. All right, that is everything. Thank you.